Should be good to go for everyone. Fantastic. And how I sold 131,000 in a day with RepeatMD. We're going to talk about what are the practical steps, the step-by-step guide that Chris used for his practice to get those levels of results. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Chris here. Chris is the co-owner and director of operation of Misha Aesthetics. And since joining Misha, Chris Barbie has been proving just absolute remarkable growth. He's an incredible marketer. He's a visionary when it comes to branding and marketing and taking things that are relevant in pop culture, implementing it within his practice, really making a brand for Misha and himself. Loves customer loyalty, and you can tell this guy loves to have fun. And his core value clearly is to have a good time and have fun and share his passion. And you can tell once you follow him on Instagram and you follow his practice that everyone in his practice shares that same passion. So Chris, thank you for not only being a RepeatMD client, thank you for coming on today and sharing these things, right? Because you didn't have to. That's the truth, right? The truth is you didn't have to come on here and share any of this. And so thank you for taking some time to share your success.
For sure. Honestly, if you could have just recorded that intro, I would use that as my CV for any future jobs. That was great.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. So what we're going to do with this webinar housekeeping is, because it is a new technology, just take a look here. You can chat, right? And hopefully you're using that chat. Let us know where you're from. Let us know, what's going on your side of the country. And you can also send us a message directly. You can download some content that we're going to talk about. And there's a Q&A, folks. There's a beautiful Q&A. It's got a little red button. I see it already. People coming in with Q&A. Go ahead and put in your questions as they come up, because Chris is going to spend some time talking or answering questions with you all. So without further ado, we're going to get started with what we're going to cover today. So first and foremost, the secret to signing up 6,000 patients. You're now, I looked at your admin panel, you're at over 7,000 patient signups. And Chris is going to spend some time in the beginning talking about, well, how the hell did he even get that many signups? Right? Because when you have a lot of patients within the platform, it's much easier to sell and run a promotion, right? So he's going to talk about that. Also, this is what I'm really excited about as well, newsjacking. That might be a new term for some of you, but we're going to talk about newsjacking and how you can use it in your practice, whether you're a RepeatMD client or not. This is just good information and something that you can immediately take home with you and say, oh, wow, I know exactly what I'm going to do next, okay? Next, creating a kick-ass offer. I see small businesses struggle with this all the time. I put it as simple as this. If you're not excited about your offer, then no one else will be, right? And having a kick-ass offer is something that you have to think about offers like this. Somebody would be stupid to say no. And if the offer's not like that, then it's not good enough, okay? So Chris is going to talk about how he uses his kick-ass offers within RepeatMD and how he drives action, okay? Chris is going to talk about his road to 100K in a day, right? I think oftentimes the problem with success is you just see the end result, but you didn't see the steps that it took to get there. That's why I'm so happy to have Chris on this call, because he is going to actually break down each step, each day, exactly the formula that he used to get those results. Oh, and then finally, a special bonus. And folks, it's not what you think.
Is it a Louis Vuitton?
Well, that is a special bonus, but it's not that. It's something different. So, but yes, if you've never been to a RepeatMD webinar, not only do we want to entertain you, not only do we want to educate you, we also want to make sure someone on this call wins a Louis Vuitton bag. So that's always a huge benefit. Shout out on the chat if it's going to be you this time. If you're going to win the Louis Vuitton bag, go ahead and put that in the chat right now. And we're going to go ahead and get started here. So why audience matters? Okay. Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner is why audience matters, folks, because Kylie Jenner, a billionaire now, I don't know what skill set other than promoting and branding she really has, Okay, and that's not diminutive of her. That's showing she has a huge fan base, a huge following. So she launched her Kylie Cosmetics, right? And now Kylie Cosmetics, within a 4-year time horizon, is a multi-billion-dollar brand. But it's because she has a unbelievable audience. Look at right on the screen, 398 million followers on just Instagram. Kylie could sell chocolate bars. She could sell rugs. She could sell protein. She could sell detox teas. She could sell whatever the hell Kylie wants because she has enough audience. And before we talk about how you can make 100K in a day with RepeatMD, my question, and I'm going to be hard on you folks, my question is, how hard are you working on building your audience? Because the truth is, if you have RepeatMD or social or whatever, and you are not obsessing every day about getting patient signups, you're doing it wrong. Because the reason why Kylie Jenner is able to build $1 billion brand seamlessly overnight is because she's building her audience, and she has an obsession to build her audience because she knows the bigger her audience, the more money will flow to her. And so with RepeatMD, sometimes I have these conversations with practice owners and they say, hey, well, how do I get the best result right before getting started, right? And I tell them, look, you have to be obsessed with signing up patients. Is it on your website? Is it on your Instagram? Is it on how many emails have you sent out? When I walk into your front door, is your staff trained to the T on getting me to sign up as part of my new patient onboarding experience? Because if the answer is no to any of those things, you are doing it wrong, folks. Because on the other side of building an audience and an audience that you own, because here's the real secret, folks. When you build your audience, your folks on RepeatMD, you own them versus Instagram where you're renting them. Why can I say you're renting them on Instagram? Because their algorithm can change at any given time, and it has many of times where you no longer have access to these followers. So and guess what? 100K followers, it's not even relevant anymore for these social influencers. It's like if you're under 10 million as a social influencer, it doesn't matter. And so when you're looking at this and you're saying, hey, if I'm going to build an audience, if I'm going to actually invest in something, might as well be my own. And so RepeatMD, like these 7,000 followers that Chris has on Misha Aesthetics on their RepeatMD app, he owns them. He's got their phone number. He knows their visit history. He has direct contact to them. And so those are folks that he actually owns. And it's super important to understand. It's like the audience is the key to success. So if you're looking at how Chris made 100K in a day and you're like, how am I going to do that with 200 people on my app? Well, newsflash, you're not going to. You're not going to sell 100K in a day with 200 people on your app. You have to work and make it part of your process every single day. And Chris is going to give you his exact playbook on how he did that. So that's coming up next. So make sure to take notes. Okay. But the next piece is what I did when I was building rewards apps for my restaurants is I trained and drilled the conversation. If you're telling people, sign up for my app, nobody wants to sign up for it. If you tell people, hey, sign up today and get $50 towards any one of our treatments, and you bring it in to their onboarding experience, like it's not a question about signing up, it's a demand. Fill out this paperwork. Okay, go ahead and pull out your phone, scan this QR code. You're going to get $50 towards anything you want today. That is the drill, folks. And your people have to be able to say that nonstop. Okay, that's the key. And then while they're there, have them refer a friend. But anyways, that's why audience matters. And as I was saying earlier, Chris is really good at building an audience, right? He already has 7,209 members. And this was a snapshot from, I think, a couple days ago. So I'm sure it's already up from there. And Chris, let's bring you into the conversation now and talk about these 5 steps on how you got 1,000 signups in your first 90 days.
Love this journey. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Phil / RepeatMD, for having me. Okay, so first thing I did was create an exclusive offer by saying I have early access to our VIP app. We call it Misha Plus. And we sent it out to 15 really good patients. And in response, I just said, hey, how do you feel about the app? Then I took their responses, which were super excited. They were like, oh my gosh, I love it. I can't wait to be a rewards member. I can't wait to earn my first reward. I can't wait to be a member. I took that information, screenshot it, and made an Instagram post. So now the other 20,000 people on Instagram, or like you said, whoever could see my posts, were like, wait a second. I want this. I want this app. So they really begged me for it. Shared that on FOMO. Next one, go ahead. They did go crazy. Okay, so then we did a one-time offer to get them to sign up immediately. I let them know that they could earn $50 off their visit with us, both returning clients and current clients, if they visited within the first 30 days of our app launch. So they'd have to scan that QR code at check-in. My front desk knew to say, do you want to earn $50 off today? Wait, what? That's like 10 Starbucks coffees, or maybe 6 Starbucks coffees, depending on your drink order. And so they said, okay, listen, scan this QR code, sign up for Misha Plus, you're in. But it was a lot of social as well. Social media, I'd say, listen, it helped boost sales in April, which is notoriously a slower month for us because we usually pick up around the holidays and then we dip January through the beginning of April when tax season happens. So it helped drive those sales in that April month that we normally take a little dip by saying, listen, we're going to give you $50 off. All you got to do is sign up. And that loss of $50 I've made up in RepeatMD packages over time. So I can't look at that, and you guys out there can't look at that, oh, it's costing me $50. No, it's not. You're not losing $50 on that client. You're gaining another $150,000 after package sales. So after that $50, though, we did let them know that we're reducing it to $25. That way, nobody felt like they were being left out of the equation here, right? So they were like, okay, you know, I couldn't get in that first month. I'm not going to download Misha Plus. No. You're still going to download it because now you get $25. So I gave him that urgency, but I also gave him a little consolation prize. And then I created awareness to the app on social media by spending one day talking about rewards, and one day talking about memberships, and one day talking about packages, and one day talking about how to download it, which you're going to see pictures of that in just a little bit. But this is not a once and done thing, right? So once a week, every month, we tie in our product of the month to the app. So August, and this is a little jumping the gun, Phil, I apologize with the newsjacking, but August is Hair Loss Awareness Month, right? So we have a PRP hair restoration package in our app. We're offering 20% off, which is hair23 as a promo code. So instead of just drilling the app in and the app alone and people getting billboard blind, I talk about PRP and how you save money with the app. And all you have to do is open it and use the promo code hair23. So kind of get both the best of both worlds. Some Hannah Montana right there. And then I create good habits in my practice. So we have a little speech. The front desk, and listen, if you write down one thing, it's this. This is what your front desk needs to say. Hi, I'm so glad you made it to your appointment, Jenny. Do you have any packages or memberships I need to be aware of? So you're not saying, hey, do you have the app? That closes the conversation. Listen, I did theater for like 9 years and then I gave up because there was no money in it. But the one thing you do is you never end a conversation without asking a question, right? So by saying, do you have any packages or memberships that I should be aware of, the patient has the opportunity to say, you know what, I don't, but can you tell me about them? Or they say, I do. And then you know to change your mind. Someone asked, Phil, I'm sorry, off topic. Is this being recorded if the hurricane kicks people out?
Yeah. We're going to record this and send it over to everyone after this so they can share with their team. So, Chris, I love the breakdown of it. I think one of the points that I really want to highlight here is the ongoing awareness. If you think of this thing as we launched and that's it, again, you have to rethink that strategy. Chris just said he dedicates 1 week to talk about every month about the benefits of why you want the app ongoing. There's ongoing emails, ongoing conversation, ongoing on social. And you know what's funny, sometimes people feel, and this is just social media advice, sometimes people feel as though that they're being very repetitive on social. But then if you reverse engineer the people that you follow them because it's repetitive. Like how many more, if you're following what's it called? Like a donut shop, how many more donuts do you need to look at? If you're following this fitness influencer, she's done the same thing 1,000 times, right? People follow because of consistency. So never worry about saying the same things over and over again, whether it's talking about your app and signing up and the benefits, all that. or whether it's just talking about something that it is that you do. Don't worry about over posting those things as you continue. But Chris, what I really like is you also weave it in to some of the promotions that you're currently running. So it's not just sign up for our app. It's like, hey, we're doing this PRP and you can get XYZ if you click this link on your app. So you're combining both of those, it sounds like.
Can I tell you what the app has cut out for me is someone who's like, I want to take advantage of your Botox promo, but I just had my Botox. And they would get mad at me. They would be like, well, I really wanted to take advantage of this promo, but I'm not due for lip filler. I'm not due for it. So then I would say, then just buy the package and let it sit on your app, right? Like the promo code expires in August, but your package doesn't. So it's kind of alleviated that stress and pressure of people saying, I wanted this product or this service, but I wasn't due for it. And your promo was like, I don't care, buy it then, use it later.
That's a great point. So let's talk about kind of this, if for those new folks just starting, or for those folks that want to revamp, talking about what was your journey to launch your app here?
So you guys are going to see some homages to St. Patrick's Day here. So we launched during St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. And we spent all week talking, again, piece by piece. So the post on the right, the packages here, were our dedication to introducing the fact that for the first time ever, we were going to have convenient packages. So we were like, great, you can be able to find them in the app. They're going to be evolving over time, but the only way to see them is to download the app. So that was that right picture there. And then we finally did introduce the app after teasing it all. So that picture you see on the left didn't get posted until the last day of our campaign. Monday was packages, Tuesday's rewards, Thursday was last minute questions, so on and so forth. And on Friday, they were eating out of the palm of our hand and they were jonesing. We didn't release the URL to our app until Friday. And so, we introduced memberships using that homage to St. Patrick's Day. This is actually my mom in both of these pictures. I've worked with her for 13 years now. And, one of the things that I really leaned into was the rewards, because I want to treat every one of my current patients more special than a new patient. Phil said something during our sign-on webinar, or I guess a conference at AmSpa, that you make more money on the people that are already eating out of the palm of your hands than you do new patients. So you have to foster the rewards and foster the people that aren't just coming in for $10 Botox, right? So with memberships and packages, we're rewarding people who are loyal to us because they're the ones who know about this, right? Joe Schmo off the street who's on Groupon all day isn't going to find my app. I don't want him to. I want the person who loves me already. We're jumping into the journey? Is that where we're going? I'm ready.
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah. So that right there, Chris, that's fantastic and we'll have this recording, kind of your journey on building. But now that you've built an audience, right? You launched in March, April. Now you're in July. You're looking at this Christmas event. Walk me through the process of, Christmas in July, and then what happened to make you shift that?
Okay, got you. So closing that bookmark, that last thing, that's building my audience, right? I have this audience and I was making like sales in a slow trickle until I got the flow of things, which I'm not going to lie to everyone watching. It's not an overnight. I didn't learn it overnight, right? I had to try this promotion in this package. I've taken down 3 or 4 packages to kind of get there. Once I got my packages set up to the ones that were most popular, I thought, okay, listen, every July I do a big event. It's my Christmas in July vibe. I've done it for the last 6 years. And we host a live, well, it was in person, but then it became live stream, #COVID. And we went on YouTube live. We spent 3 hours on live yelling at the screen saying, you can buy a discounted gift card, go to this link. But to be honest with you, I was kind of tired of it and looking for a change. And I then learned about newsjacking. So I said, screw Christmas. I love Christmas, but we're jumping. We're doing something else. But before I tell you what we did, which you probably already know, Phil, can you help me out explaining newsjacking?
100%. So newsjacking. And this is important, folks, because this is going to give you a whole new layer of ability to market to your audience that you may have never considered before. And we'll talk about Chris's specific example because it's so kick-ass. I can't wait for him to talk about it. But there's going to be more opportunities of this. So you have typical promotions, but you also have newsjacking. And newsjacking is this ability to align yourself with popular topics, most of the time pop culture, or things that are circulating in the news, and bring attention to your business. Why is this important? Because if your business can align with something that's trending, not only will it trend on social, but also in my experience of using newsjacking, your local news, like your local news, your local media will also pick you up. So if it's important for you to be on the news, which I think every small business benefits from being on the news, or in your local newsletters and articles, newsjacking is a great way to trend. And they're like, oh my God, Misha's doing this. Let's promote them as well because it's part of the news cycle. And so an example of newsjacking here was Game of Thrones in the past, right? So Game of Thrones, for example, it was like what the greatest or the biggest grand finale event in HBO history, right? It's like the biggest event that they've ever had. And you saw all these brands do partnerships, right? In this case, I guess this is Johnny Walker, but you saw Game of Thrones everywhere. If you were a small business at that time, like I was, for example, then what you would do is you would create an event around what's trending, and then you would launch it in the media. So my example for Game of Thrones when I owned restaurants was I did a Game of Thrones trivia, and I gave people a free beer if they dressed up as a character. So we had like 1,000 people come in, a line out the door. My dad was with this thick Austrian accent, was dressed up as Jon Snow, and just completely went all out. And we did like a menu based off Game of Thrones. We did drinks based off Game of Thrones. We were in every major news outlet in Houston, lines out the door. And it was like one of our greatest sale nights in that year because we newsjacked. We used the momentum that was happening. And so, for example, Florida, you've got a hurricane coming on. One of the things that I did, I'm not saying this is what you do, but I use newsjacking all the time. We had a hurricane come in Houston, and we did a hurricane watch party the night before where I raffled out a canoe. It was like a joke.
I love you.
It was like a joke, and everyone, but it got attention. Like we were trending on social, we were trending on the news. Like newsjacking is a real thing that you can use to add in an extra layer of promotions. And so you'll see what
we're on newsjacking.
Yeah,
right
please.
Now. So like you and your hurricanes, we don't really get hurricanes up north in Philadelphia, but we get snow. So what I do, and you guys can use this idea, please, anything I talk about, I don't ever see anyone as competition. We're all community, is guess the amount of snow we're going to get. And whoever gets it right, like I say right outside my office, guess the amount of snow we're going to get, gets that many units of Botox, right? And so the same thing works with rain.
That's a perfect example.
And so the storm is coming, and people are going to be looking to talk about snow and did you get your bread and milk and whatnot. And so it's like another version of newsjacking.
Absolutely. Okay, so you can kind of guess, what did Chris use? What was trending? What was spent hundreds of millions of dollars promoting? Chris, how on earth did you decide of all the things to do to position your brand with Barbie?
So it all started when I was being beat over the head by everyone else talking about Barbie. And when my husband sent me a DM that said, can we make Barbie pasta tonight? Which was disgusting. I don't recommend it. And I thought, wait a second. If we're talking about Barbie pasta, then Barbie Botox just has to work, right? So I had this brain blast to turn my Christmas in July party into a Barbie celebration. And I think you're going to see in a second, we decided to build our Barbie dream house, but it all came up because look, everyone and their mother and father was doing Barbie everything. So I actually felt like I was being left out, and I felt like I was doing a disservice by not jumping on the trend.
Right. And you see this trend everywhere. And there was a great question, which is like, hey, would I get sued for using Barbie's trademark? I will actually speak on that because I did newsjacking so often in my businesses that I'll tell you exactly what they think about that. We have a slide about it, actually. But look, if you have a brand that's spending this type of capital, right, and it perfectly aligns with your user, your patient, then absolutely it's time to leverage that. And so Chris threw away the Christmas in July, because guess what? Every July he could do that, and he captured the momentum of Barbie, and we'll show you exactly how he captured that, right? And it was just incredible, right? I mean, what branding Barbie did. It's unbelievable, and it was so smart for him to tap into that.
Back to your hurricane party, I bet you a lot of people took pictures at your bar dressed up.
Oh my God.
And so that probably
so many. Yep. 100%. And so look, folks, Chris, talk a little bit about user-generated content, and I'll talk about what brands think about user-generated content.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of segueing back to what I was just saying about your hurricane party, right? I leveraged, and I should have sent Cassie a picture. I'm so silly. I leveraged this by actually getting one of those Barbie boxes put in my office, and I replaced the word Barbie with Misha. And I encourage people to take their Barbie box pictures in my office. Like they knew coming into their visit at any point in July to dress in pink because they could get their Barbie picture, their Barbie box picture. Now, when they posted that, I ran a simultaneous competition that whoever posted it was entered to win 20 units of Botox. Listen, 20 units of Botox cost me maybe $250, $300, right? At the end of the day, I can get it covered by my rep. But what I can't pay for is Jenny Sue. I have no clients named Jenny Sue. But Jenny Sue posting a picture in the Barbie box and tagging Misha, because then Jenny Sue friends are like, you know what? I've been meaning to check out Misha. So user-generated content, or UGC, is labeled as the most powerful form of marketing because Phil's followers don't know Misha aesthetics yet. But if Phil posts about me, I'm now in their radar. So the Barbie was designed. They spent a lot of money on marketing, but they earned it back tenfold in the amount of UGC that was generated. Everyone and their mother was taking their kids to see Barbie. Everyone took a picture in the box. Everybody was wearing pink. You all saw it, right?
And that's the important point, folks. It's brands like Barbie, like Game of Thrones, love this. They design experiences for this. They want you to promote this because it only makes their marketing go much further, much faster. And when it comes to trademarking, Chris isn't selling a product that's called Barbie, pretending like Mattel like sponsored it. He is actually leveraging their marketing, which is great for him. They're very aware of this with social media now, of course, right? And it builds their brand. So brands absolutely love it in every way possible because it only brings their brand. The only time where you could possibly get in trouble is where you make it sound as if like Barbie built this for Chris, right? Like selling it on behalf of Mattel. But he's not doing that. He's leveraging the momentum, and they absolutely love this, right? I mean, think about you. Could you imagine if somebody was branding your practice for you, not having to pay them? Oh, wait, that's exactly what people in Instagram can do for you, right? Like, to let them build your brand for you. And Chris, one of the small things that you do, because you're such an innovator and such a marketer, is you talk about this concept of actually reverting back into the cost of marketing and justifying what you do. Folks, so many small business owners don't understand that. They will go spend all this money marketing or no money at all, which is a horrible idea, right? But if they spend all this money on marketing, on ads and websites and this, but they're not actually spending money back on their patients to drive more awareness, like giveaways, like raffles, like promos, then you're leaving so much marketing power on the table because you've already invested all this money to bring new patients in, but you haven't allocated a budget to respend on patients who already love you, who are much easier to close, who are already qualified, right? So really be conscious of what is your retention budget? What is the amount of one marketing dollar that you spend back on your existing patients to drive them further, bring people back in more often, spend more money, okay?
Before you jump to the next one, UGC, someone asked, like, how do I do it without being annoying? You leverage your reps and leverage your swag, the samples of SPF, and, say, hey, if you take a selfie in our office and post it, I'll give you this sample of SPF, right? Like, people will do anything for something for free. So, just leverage that stuff.
Absolutely. And folks, if you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, I missed the Barbie movement. What is there? There's going to be other movements you can capitalize on, but there's also just total e-com promotional calendars, these calendars of events that you can use as a way to promote something. And I'll tell you, there's a small psychological nuance when it comes to a promotion versus a discount. Okay. When it comes to discounting things, you don't want to just go on Wednesday, discount your things 20% off because it's Wednesday, you need the money. What you do want to do is leverage an e-com based calendar, promotional calendar, like here, September, Labor Day, Grandparents' Day, first day of fall, National Coffee Day. not all, but some that you might want to leverage and use that, because you never want to become the discount brand, but you would love to create special promotions for your patients, right? So newsjacking, now that you know about it, look out for it. Okay. But also understand that every month there's an opportunity to run a promotion or run something special. Not all of them, but some that might resonate with you and your clients. Okay. So Chris,
We
we're
made
headed
it.
to Barbie land here.
Let's get in the car.
We're at it. I mean,
Let's
look,
do it.
I feel like I pinned myself out for this event. What do you think, folks? Can
Wait,
I pass as a
Did you dress like Ken
good
and I
idea?
dressed like Barbie? I'm wearing
I
pink, you're
mean,
wearing green. I
we
kind of love this.
we did it. We did it. All right. So, okay. Don't give me any wish.com kins, okay? Like, okay. So let's talk about, now that we've built, so here's the roadmap where we're at. We built this ability to build, our own followers, right? Our own base within your RepeatMD app, on Instagram, etc. Now you have this concept of running promotions. Now you've elevated that concept of newsjacking. Okay. Now what we're going to do is take you exactly through how Chris launched this event and how he got the sales that he did. So Chris, let's go.
Okay, so we started by taking like newsjacking to the extreme and thinking about, most of my audience is between 30 and 50. Everybody wanted a Barbie dream house, so I built my own. And that's what we used to create our own kick-ass offer. So we said that the Barbie dream house was going to be open for one day only, which was July 20th. And on that day, you could get 20% off packages. You could get an extra $10 on gift cards. Now, listen, I intentionally wanted people to go to the Misha Plus app. So I made my gift card offer, because it wasn't on the app at the time, less significant than my package offer. So 20% off packages, bonus 10% on gift cards. I included a discount on beauty banks. So listen, if you wanted 20% off gift cards, you could, but you'd have to do it through beauty banks on the app. If you don't know what I'm talking about, beauty banks, talk to your RepeatMD folks. They'll explain to you what a beauty bank is. It's basically just like a bank you can spend at your office. And last but not least, the biggest headache of my entire life, but it was so worth it because people were fighting for them, was the bonus check-in. So earlier we talked about, hey, when you come to my office and scan, you're earning towards rewards. I let them know that anyone who made a purchase, gift card, beauty bank, or package that day, would earn a bonus check-in towards their rewards. And that ended up being a better idea than I thought. Oh, I already said these. I'm so sorry. So all of our Misha Plus Day offers, all of our packages are already 10% off. So if you use an additional 10%, the code Misha Day, you got an extra 10% off. And then that bonus check-in.
And so one of the pieces I really want to call out here is, notice what he said, an additional 10% off. So let's have a moment of truth here when it comes to having an app. What's really important that Chris has done is he's understood the value of a patient being able to buy from any place, anywhere, anytime through his app. And so what he's done is he's purposefully priced his packages and his treatments a little, 10% off across the board, because what he wants to do is drive behavior for patients to understand that when they think it, they can buy it through his app. Why is this important? Because now the patients don't actually have to drive to your practice to buy. And he's picking up all this extra volume because the way you and I operate today is, when we think it, we pull out our phone and buy it. Thank you, Amazon, right? It's called the Amazon effect. And so Chris is actually tapping into the Amazon effect by lowering the price on his app, so it's the best place to buy something, because he knows he can drive behavior outside of a typical 9 to 5 p.m. And so when he's running his promotion codes like Misha Day, people are just like ready to buy and move forward because they've already had the consultation. They know what it is that they want. They just needed an excuse to buy. And the latter of that is really important. Sometimes all your patients need is that little excuse to buy. And this Barbie event, with a one day only, Chris is going to talk about urgency, was that excuse enough to go ahead and pull the trigger? Okay. So a little call out there. And let's talk about building excitement for the event.
Okay. So I am notorious for giveaways. I'm going to plug my Instagram one more time, at Botox by Misha. I've said it in the comments a couple of times, and maybe someone else can write it, because I also have a structure with my social media posts, and every Tuesday is Trivia Tuesday with a giveaway. So this is not new for my practice. What I do is I harp on my reps to give me stuff throughout the year so that I can use it during these events. So these were the giveaways we did. We did 5 $220 gift cards because with every $100 you put on a gift card, you got an extra $10. The new Restylane Eye Light just came out, so we leveraged that because we were just talking about that last week. TNS is our most expensive product, talked about that and leveraged that. A complimentary microneedling session. Why did I offer that? Because my number one package is microneedling. So I got a chance to say, hey, our number one package is microneedling. Find out why by getting your first on me. We did another 40 units of Botox and a members only exclusive of an additional 50 units of Botox. I got every single one of these except for the gift cards covered by my reps. Very fortunate of me. And so I was able to talk about all of this, but I didn't make anyone have to buy anything to be entered into these giveaways. All I made them do was comment on my post explaining what the offers were because I was doing gamification. I wanted that traction. I wanted those comments. So my real win was that $150,000 I made in 24 hours. My real win was people signing up for Misha Plus, the app, because they wanted to make these purchases. What you're seeing now is just using people's comments to let other people, you mentioned Kylie Jenner isn't in everyone's feed every day, right? I wanted to be in everyone's feed today. To get there, I needed a lot of comments, so I gave a lot of stuff away. Oh, okay, we had to get ready. Sorry, Phil, go.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I am just as hyped to do this again. Okay, so in order to get to the big day, I had to get people as excited as I am. So I didn't know this slide had animations. I'm even more excited. So step one. Step one was explaining that we had a Misha Plus Member Monday exclusive giveaway. Say that 9 times fast. So we said, listen, if you want to enter today's giveaway, you just have to sign up for our free reward program. This was our last catch-all to anyone who was not already signed up. Hey, sign up today for the app. It's free. Or as I was taught at a AmSpa conference, it's complimentary. It sounds more bougie than free. It's complimentary. If you sign up for our app, you're entered for our giveaway, and only members are allowed. Okay, next.
I want to repeat that. Sign up today and you'll be entered. Not just anyone on Instagram. He's taking those followers that he has on Instagram, leveraging them, building his own audience, another audience through his own app that he'll own. That's a really important takeaway, folks, is we don't just give membership discounts. We don't just let raffles happen to anybody. You have to be part of our app. That's a key takeaway there. Just want to call that out. Okay.
Number two, we talked about why you're a member. Why are you signing up for this free program? Because we have rewards. And one of the things that Phil helped me work through, along with the rest of the RepeatMD team, is that not every reward has to be something free. The reward can be a discount on a high ticket item, or in this case, a discount on an item that I would like people to add on to every damn Botox visit, which is a dermaplane. So dermaplanes in my office are $100. People look at them and like, meh, not worth it, because they never tried it. But I give everyone on their third visit a $25 dermaplane. So that's their way of trying it. So on day 2, I said, hey, this is why you signed up. You might not win the giveaway, but you're still working towards new rewards. On day 3, I pulled in a bunch of staff people into that Barbie box I talked about and let them know that the reason we're excited about Misha Plus is it's not just for my injectors. It's not just for my estheticians. It's not just for my front desk staff. It's for you at home as well. So I created a sense of community and brought in my front desk staff, who doesn't get talked about enough, and they pretty much run my practice. Day 4, I let them know that packages exist, because packages are where I was making my money on the big day, right? So I had to let them know that microneedling is best in a set of 3. So that's where I got the excited to educate clients on why packages drive more results, not just for my practice financially, but for your skin, right? So 1 microneedling is meh, 2 microneedlings is whoa, 3 microneedlings is put me back on Tinder, I'm ready to take on the world. So I kind of educated. And then day 5 was our last call for any questions. God, this is Olivia, my coworker. She's stunning. She's going to nursing school to be an injector. But this is my last day for questions. I was like, listen, y'all, tomorrow's the big day. I'm going to be busy because I'm going to be running this from an airplane, which you'll find out in a second. So please, today, before the day hits, the shit hits the fan, ask me your questions, give me those comments, and let me answer them. Because if you've got a question, I failed in my education, and I want to educate everybody.
I'm going to actually play that video here.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. I just want to let you know that I am running all of Misha Plus Day from an airport today, and then eventually 40,000 feet in the air as I cruise to Dallas for that revisions conference. But I will be paying for that Wi-Fi, just like I paid $24 for breakfast this morning, so I can answer all your questions about Misha Plus Day today. So that's that 20% off packages, 10% off beauty banks, buy $100 gift cards, get a bonus 10, and it's also that complimentary check-in with any purchase today. Also, all those giveaways headed your way. If you wear pink today, it's a bonus entry for the giveaways, but more details on that in just a little bit. My flight leaves in 6 minutes, but I'm always the last to get on the plane because I like to strut my stuff down that aisle, let everyone know that I'm here. But again, I will be answering all your questions via DM. So if you have questions about Misha Plus Day, I am here for you, and I will get through all of them. The website's been updated. The promo code is there. It'll be in your inbox in just a little bit. The gift card promo has been turned on, so that's coming. We have a lot of cool things on social media. I'm running out of time. You're beautiful. Sorry, I did.
That was amazing. That was amazing. I mean, you're able to. You're not only are you able to run this promotion, we're able to run it on an airport and make all these sales, which we'll talk to in a second. But again, I think this is such an important point, Chris. How did you get your staff fired up? How, obviously you're the owner, your energy is infectious, you're a vibe within itself, but how do you spread that energy and make sure your staff is actually bringing the energy like you are?
I literally decorated before I left every office with a bunch of pink cupcakes. And I bought lunch for every office that day. And I made sure that everyone had the resources they needed to answer questions. So if I was in the air, my Wi-Fi went down, they could help it out. So I brought the energy to my staff via their own Misha party in every office. Because they're not spending money in my office, but I want them to be able to feel as good about the big day.
Awesome. So let's talk omni-channel and what that means. Yes. So omni-channel, this is the approach on the day of, right? And the definition of omni-channel, folks, is using all of your channels to drive momentum, to drive traffic into one single place. You might see this, for an event, right? If you watch boxing or UFC or whatever, like I do, maybe no one does. But if you did, you'd realize like all of the channels, everyone to one specific event, the fight tonight at 8 p.m., no different. Everyone posting about this, and it's very coordinated. If you forget and you're doing a big promotion to not hit every channel, email, et cetera, that's a mistake. So Chris, I want to walk you through, I want you to walk us through exactly what your omni-channel approach was.
So I worked from least intrusive to most intrusive because I didn't want to wake anybody up at 7 a.m. But first, it was a social media post. I said, here's our exclusive promo code. It's on the key. It says Misha Day. Use this code in the app all day today and today alone and get 20% off. That was 7 a.m. Next, at 10 a.m., I hit them with the email. It was a landing page, like a newsletter, with every detail I've gone over all week. That promo code was visible again. And the email is a little more intrusive because your phone might ding, but I didn't wake anybody up yet. And finally, at 11 o'clock, I was like, listen, y'all, this is happening, whether you want it or not. You're getting a text from RepeatMD. Use the promo code Misha Day to save 10%, etc. And then I directly linked them. I actually directly linked them from the text back to the email landing page because I had more space there. I think I hear rumors that in version 2 of the app, I'll actually be able to link them from the text with a short link back to the app itself. Don't tell anyone though.
Yep, okay. Absolutely. We'll talk a little bit about that here.
Omni-channel approach. So it's post first, then email, then text. I hit them 3 times. If they didn't buy it at the first, they bought it at the second. If they didn't buy it at the second, I bought them at the third. And then I just posted Instagram stories all day, every hour from the plane. I took a selfie with my double chin and I was like, did you buy a package yet? I was just literally posting an Instagram story every hour. And I would screenshot what the package looked like and what the savings were, and then posting a before and after of what they could look like too.
So, and here you'll see Chris as a beta user of RepeatMD V2 now, what it all looks like within his app. So if you take a look at this GIF here, right, you might notice, oh wait, that looks a little different. We'll talk about where we're at with RepeatMD V2 because we've got a lot of exciting news. But just notice that he was able to brand the app for the day. He was able to add his microneedling package. He had membership-based pricing, the ability to actually add a membership right there in the cart, use promo codes, an entire new system to really drive this traffic, as we've been working with so many folks to perfect this. And we'll talk a little bit about the easy process of the RepeatMD V2 and how it's been driving 2.5 times more conversions. So a little bit more on that later. But what I wanted to mention here is Chris talking about this sense of scarcity and urgency, right?
So I told people that I was gonna like wrap things up that day. But then I was kind of a little bit greedy and I was like, wait, this is going really well. So I kind of spun a story, which was kind of true. I did oversleep. And the promo code I had set up with my rep was set to expire at like 2 p.m. the next day. So when I woke up the next day, I sent another blast and I was like, y'all still have 3 hours. Because you always are going to get those DMs where someone's like, I missed out. I was working night shift. My child was sick. Drama. No, I gave you an extra 3 or 4 hours.
And I think that's important. Scarcity and urgency drives behavior. So when you're running a promotion, just make sure to use that, right? This just kind of happened for Chris, but he was like using a psychological principle that drives more sales. Always use urgency with your promotions, okay? And Chris, right here, a little snapshot. Look at the time of this. Do you want to talk about like all your pings and all the emails and what times a day that you got these sales?
I was celebrating by like 8:30. I was 3 drinks in at a bar in Dallas, and my email was still going off. And I was like, wait, it's 9:32 at night, and I just got $480. Wait, it's 10 p.m. I'm getting ready for bed with barbecue sauce on my shirt, and I made another $1,400. So like, I literally with RepeatMD, and again, I want to remind you guys, I'm not being paid to be here, but I literally was getting like paid by my clients while I was getting ready for bed. And I had to do nothing more than I had already done.
Make money while you sleep.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of the formula, folks. And look, this is important. Okay. I'm going to show you a video, but Chris, you know, what is your stance on financing and how has it been effective in your practice using Affirm?
So Affirm's been great. I have to, you know, it's hard because you can't use concrete numbers. You can do that now with Affirm.
Chris, go back 10 seconds because the video was playing, but we went off. It was showing the simple. So the video, folks, we're going to skip the video, but the video is shows you can finance any package within 15 to 20 seconds. But talk about financing and the ability to drive patients over by embedding it in your app.
So we're all, I want it today, but I want to pay tomorrow, right? So I use hey, if you want your exosome microneedling and you want to add that RF to it, but the price tag of $1,200 scares you, well, does the price tag of $280 scare you? Because if you pay that, you can pay that over 6 months and still get your microneedling today. And so it's been really, I've been able to leverage that, especially with this random word recession that people like to whisper about. People are much more confident in their ability to pay $200 a month than they are to give you $1,600 today. So it's worked out really well. Oh, we did really well.
Let's get to the results. I mean, Ryan Gosling makes a hell of a game. I mean, my God. All right. So, Chris, you sold 144 packages that day. You thought it was 108, but then it bumped up, overnight to 144. Talk about what you generated. Yeah, I mean, we animated this little baby. So day one, $131,000. Okay. Day two, right? 140,000. You extended a little bit, but you know what I thought was really special? Now that patients were already driving to the app and there was all this awareness, your day three, when you weren't even running a promotion, patients were still in this frenzy to buy. And look, folks, he capped off at $145,000 in 3 days from running this strategic promotion, right? Newsjacking, using an omni-channel approach, landing into the RepeatMD app, because none of these patients that bought had to actually drive to his practice for this $145,000 in sales. And in many ways, Chris, I've heard you say that with this 145K, this was money that you wouldn't have made if it wasn't for the ability for your patients to just buy right then and there, especially at 9 o'clock at night.
and I don't know if there's a slide on this, so I jump ahead. I'm sorry, Phil, but I'm excited that the way that I thanked my staff for participating, because these pay cuts hit them, right? 10% off, 20% off, etc. They hit my staff as well. But I explained to them that with 144 packages and each package is about 3 visits, that's 300 visits for them, right? Like that's literally 300 guaranteed appointments for our staff. And, that's where I had to sell it to them, is that it always hurts to take that 20%. But like I said in all our meetings, Phil, some money is better than no money.
Right. And what you just said is so important, that look, 300 new appointments or 300 new opportunities to upsell and to fill up calendars. Some folks reach out to me and they say, Phil, how do I get my staff to buy in? They don't want to do a 10% discount. Well, do you want traffic? Do you want full calendars? Do you want the opportunity to start talking about upsell and cross sells? And that's exactly what you do so well, Chris, is with this 300 new guaranteed appointments during, July, fairly slow month, you have the opportunity to fill out these calendars and really bring in a whole lot of traction going into your holiday season. Okay. So quickly, 100K framework. Okay. Let's talk about Chris's 100K framework in summary, and then we've got a very special giveaway to do here, folks, and a couple announcements. So let's take a look. Chris's 100K framework. Number 1, obsess about patient signups. Okay. Obsess is the key word there, folks. It's got to be something that we constantly train and run, right? Going fast here. Run promotions via RepeatMD. Okay. With RepeatMD, the opportunity to drive traffic to a single source and the ability to buy. Why run a promotion? Because your patient doesn't have to drive to the practice to buy it. So if you used your promo code, if you launched it, patients want the ability to buy. And the average buying cycle in today's world, right, the expectation when asked and then when actually measured is 2.9 seconds. That's how quickly we make buying decisions. Some folks here, it might be 3 days before someone has the opportunity to buy from you. Okay, create a kick-ass offer. If you're not excited about it, your patients are going to be excited about it, right? Take yourself as a patient and say, would I be excited about this offer? And if the answer is no, change it. Give more value, folks. Business is a race to whatever business can create the most value for the marketplace. Are you creating value? Value doesn't necessarily mean discount. Values the concept of what I get from you, I can't get anywhere else, right? So create a kick-ass offer and kick your competition's ass at the same time, okay? Apply scarcity and urgency to your offer, right? People want things that they can't have, and they chase things that run away from them. And so make sure that you don't become this Groupon customer, that you have, promotions running for 14 days straight and nobody has urgency anymore, right? Make sure to limit that offer and have integrity, folks. Sometimes people don't have integrity with their offers, where they will do a 2-day offer, but it's really a 5-day offer. And the problem is you're retraining your customers to not believe you when you run offers. So that's something important. And when people ask me like, hey, well, I can't get this pricing anymore, I let them know, look, we have integrity in pricing. And so when we're running a promotion, we're doing a special, it really means for this time. And you should do the same. Okay. Omnichannel, we talked about it. What are omnichannels? Website, emails, text messaging, landing to RepeatMD. Use everything you have, folks. Everything, TikTok, whatever it is that you want. What are the different channels? And Chris used all of his channels to drive a single action. Do not drive confusion, folks. Drive a single action. We're going to this landing page to buy this thing. You can't tell them to go do 15 things, okay? And then enable financing for big money, right? Because you do not ever want your patients to think, you know what, I can't afford it. Yes, you can afford it because we have a firm and it can take your big packages. And can you afford $120 a month? Yes, you can. Well, you deserve to feel and look your best. You certainly don't want to walk away from that, right? You deserve the ability to afford these things, and we've made it accessible through a firm. Chris, this is the six-step framework for 100K. Do you want to add anything to this?
It would be really nice if we could put this in like a PDF form for everybody. Like if we could conveniently get this to people, that'd be sexy.
We will do it. Maddie, I know you're listening. Let's get this into a PDF. And we do have some PDFs that we will deliver today. And folks, what we want to also give to you today is to take action, okay? So let's talk about take action. there's two types of people. It's about 50-50 on the call today. Some of you folks that are not RepeatMD clients, okay, scan the QR code and schedule a demo. Look, folks, the conversation is free. Schedule it, see if it's a good fit for your practice. We have our calendars open a little tonight and the rest of the week exclusively for folks who took the time to be on this webinar today. If you've been thinking about RepeatMD, schedule the demo, pull out your phone, scan the QR code, see if you are a good fit. And we'll also tell you if we think you're a good fit. Because look, folks, Chris is very successful in what he does, but we have people that are just getting started out. Sanchina Fletcher, for example, she was with Derma Lounge. She started as an injector in a salon suite, and she was one of our first clients, actually. Now she's got 2 locations. So there's success comes in all forms. You don't just have to be big. Scan the QR code. If you want to be able to make money from anywhere, any place, anywhere, anytime, it's worth to have the conversation. If you are a RepeatMD client, also scan the QR code because we've got 3 goodies for you, okay? Number 1, we want to connect you with your client success specialist to do a practice audit. We want to make sure that you're promoting your app in the best of forms, okay? So you'll have the opportunity to say, yes, I want that. Now, this is optional. You don't have to, okay? Number 2, I want you to opt in for September Fall in the Savings promotion. Run a promotion. If you don't have the shop enable it, let's get it enabled. If you have never ran a promotion, let us do the heavy lifting for you. We send out the text, we create the content, we make it live on your app. We do this with you, folks. Client success for us comes off our core values. If your success is our success, we don't just leave you to do work. We work with you, and we work for you in many cases to make this a success, okay? And then finally, what I'm most excited about, if you haven't heard anything, listen to this. Chris himself, Chris Barbie, is going to take 2 days every month to have one-on-one with our practices and teach you how he sells more with RepeatMD. Do you want to ask Chris questions directly? Do you want to see how he runs his practice? Do you want to get into the mind of Chris with his marketing and innovation and his brand and how he does it? Chris is going to do two meetings per month to give you the opportunity to learn from how he gets success from RepeatMD, but it's well beyond that. It's how does he build a successful practice, and how is he so damn good at branding and marketing, what you can learn from. Scan the QR code to have that opportunity. It is 100% free. Okay, this is a collaboration between Chris and RepeatMD to give and add value back to our industry. We want to see folks within our industry add tremendous value to the marketplace, because rising the tide, right, increases or levels up all ships, whatever that cool slogan is. I never get that one right, but you get what I'm saying. Yes, let's build it together, right? And Chris is incredible for offering that. So that'll be every month, twice a month.
Just, September 20th, I'm launching my attempt to sell 75 memberships in 24 hours. So follow along. That's my challenge to myself. And so the week of September 20th, as we lead into fall, it's a whole fall campaign. So if you have questions, you want to copy my shit, sorry, I said shit. You can definitely jump on that Instagram and just copy everything I do. We're going to sell 75 memberships in 24 hours.
I love it. And Chris, genuinely, thank you for offering your time up to help practices win and help them grow. It says a lot about you as a person that you're willing to share this information. And sincerely, for everyone on this call, put it in the chat, folks. Do we think Chris is awesome? Can we thank him for his incredible time today? And there is no reason for Chris to be on this call other than his heart and his want to see other people win. So thank you, Chris, genuinely.
You're welcome.
Oh, so let's take a look. We're not done, and we got a bag to give away, folks. My God. Chris has also put together. There we go. Take a look at right there on the top right, folks. There is a Docs tab. Okay, under that Docs tab, Chris put this together. We added our marketing pizzazz on top of it. He looks damn good. And let's make sure we download this document. This is your checklist on how to create a successful promotion and an event. Okay, go to the Docs tab, download that. We'll also send it via email. It's incredible. It gives you the opportunity to think through all the steps that he takes. And it's a real win for that pink bow tie, Chris. All right. We have a little bit of time for Q&A. We'll take a few questions. Okay. And I'm going to take a look here. Let's see where the upvotes are. Okay. So Melissa Peterson asked, do you incentivize your entire team?
So my team makes 100% commission based. So their incentive is to sell packages so they have more appointments. So on top of their typical commission, I don't incentivize them for like specific signups, or I don't incentivize them for anything like that. I just educate them and let them know that more appointments means more money in their pocket.
Amazing. Let's put the next question on the screen, which is a pretty cool feature, by the way. What's the best way to grow your following?
I was so nervous that this question was going to be the one you asked. This will be one of the hardest things. So getting people to sign up for your app, easy. Getting that Instagram following these days is a little bit harder because the ecosystem is flooded, but it's not impossible if you stay loyal, consistent, and true to brand. You guys saw that video I posted from the airport at 6 in the morning. That's what people are looking for. So don't overthink it. Be yourself. Don't be camera shy. If you want to use a filter, go for it. But to grow your following, you need to be authentic. And I'm going to do another demo or session for RepeatMD all on gamification, which is the process of running a contest, get people to tag their friends and get people to follow you to win.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say we're going to have you back for a few other topics, Chris. But let's continue on the Q&A here. We'll take 2 more questions. And again, Chris is going to be hosting these, so you'll be able to ask him directly some of these.
I'm going to.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're a smaller practice, I think that you can't look, if you're a small practice, I don't think you can afford not to have RepeatMD, because at the end of the day, you have to add a lot of value back into your patients, and your dollars got to go further, right? So what I mean by that is if you get people part of your reward system, have the opportunity to upsell or cross-sell, it doesn't matter the size of your practice. It matters if you believe, is branding important? Do you want to sell from any place, anywhere, anytime? And do you want to add value back into your patients? Now, if you're saying, look, Phil, I have less than 5 patients that walk through our front door, or, we're just getting started out and we're struggling to pay our bills, I would say probably RepeatMD isn't a great fit at that point, right? Because what I would focus on for you is acquisition. And if I were to say I have no money, and what I would do to build it is I would build it off Instagram, use influencers, get more people through, in the practice, and give away things to drive traffic. But if short of you going out of business or just getting started and have no budget, I think RepeatMD, we have clients of all sizes, very small to very big. It just depends on what your stance is. Do you want to build a brand? Do you want to add value to your patient? Do you want them
to shout out to Kaylin.
To buy from any place?
Kaylin did 10K in 1 week as a smaller practice. So just make sure your goals are realistic. Congratulations, Kaylin. That's amazing. Make sure your goals are realistic. You're not going to hit 100K in your first 6 months, right? But you can hit 10K in a week. And wouldn't that be awesome for a small practice?
Absolutely. So also, we've got another kin alert. Our CRO, Matt Sirachi. If you have any questions, something that wasn't answered, and just want to take a look at this guy, I mean, wait till you see this. Boom, baby! Folks, that's a real photo of our CRO. That is not Photoshop. It might be. Okay, Matt Sirachi, he's our CRO. Matt is incredible. He came from Klarna almost a year ago now to help us build RepeatMD into where it is today and where it's going. And Matt, if his email is directly out there. If you have questions about support, you just want someone to talk to, you have, maybe some sense of, I need help with this, or I have a question about V2, whatever, his inbox is open. Matt loves to have direct feedback within our ecosystem. And I mean, this guy's looking great. He's got the blonde hair. He's got the abs. He's ready to run.
Matt will also respond at 7:30 at night. It's insane. Like it was 9:30 he responded. He never stops working.
Yeah, that's maybe a little bit of a problem, but he's here to help. Huh? the winky face really brings it home for me. Right. All right. So look, folks, we've made it right before the giveaway. RepeatMD V2. I mean, this thing is incredible. We've been working on it with Lottie. Lottie built Target, Nordstrom, Macy's. She's helped build e-commerce solutions for Bloomingdale's. Chris, she flew down to your practice to have a one-on-one interaction. What was that like?
She's from New Zealand, so we spent a majority of the time saying "nar" with each other. But she was amazing, and what I love most about Lottie is that when I had feedback, she would be honest, be like, "That's a really good call out. Let's make that change," or "That's not a call out I'm going to put effort into this week." And so she definitely has the skill set to make an amazing app. And I know that I'm not supposed to give too much away, but guys, V2 was worth the wait. I was grumpy like you guys were, and I was like, "Give it to me. Give it to me." But I can see that there are a couple things that they want to work out before they give it to you. It is worth the wait, I promise you.
Yeah, and we're working towards that every day. So be on the lookout for client success messages. They will be coming as we begin the concept of migrating you from the version that you're on to this new incredible version. V1, is absolutely incredible. People are making sales through it, like a lot, right? Chris did his promotion through V1. Now he's been updated through V2. But as we continue, we want to make sure that you go through a seamless process, because V2 is not only just an update in terms of the visual, the UI and the UX, but there's some incredible features that you saw a little bit today and that we're continuing to work on. So I'm a bit of a perfectionist, maybe sometimes to a fault, maybe not to a fault, depends on who you ask. But I do want to make sure that we're always adding value to you, and we're going to launch it when it's ready. It's going to be well before the holidays. So take a look at your inbox as client success starts reaching out here in the coming weeks to begin migration. Okay, folks? So V2 is coming very, very soon, and I'm super excited. And the results have been outstanding for our beta clients. So we will continue to update you on that.